Well, for the rest of this evening, continue to drive with plenty of care. It is hard to see out on the roads because of all the fog that's been stubbornly in place throughout a lot of the day. The reason why, we've got an extremely slow-moving warm front that's allowed all of that cloud cover essentially right down to the ground to stay in place. So it's going to be at least several more hours before this fog is able to clear out. It may take until late tonight before some areas finally see that visibility completely clear. So as we look at the dense fog advisories, much of the state line saw this get extended to 9 o'clock. For spots like Freeport and West, though, may see dense fog in your backyard until 3 a.m. So it could take well through this evening and into early tonight before this stubborn fog finally clears out. And here's some of the results. This is an example of dense fog where we've got visibility at about 1/3 of a mile or less. DeKalb, Rockford, almost down to nothing for visibility, which means it is just so much harder to see not only down the road, but any kind of road hazards that might be in the road. So if you do have to drive around tonight, take it very slow, especially if you're going to be out away from the city lights. Here's an example of that dense fog. Normally on our library camera, we're able to clearly see across the river and all of downtown. You can kind of make out the city lights and some of the buildings, but just barely. But then as you get out away from those city lights, this is an example of our roof camera. That spotlight is really the only thing that we can see as of this point. Normally can make out trees, the road. So this is what you're driving in. Be very careful through the rest of the night. A lot of things can sneak up on you quickly in these foggy conditions. Now, after midnight, a lot of this fog should start to clear. Or drizzly after that and very warm with temperatures in the 40s. We'll stay mild tomorrow in the upper 40s with more rain on the way. We've got a fairly soggy Friday just around the corner. You can see that reflected here on Future Trek. So very foggy start to the day, and then later in the morning we have on and off light rainfall. It's a little scattered to begin, but going into the afternoon, rain becomes steady and then a little heavier throughout tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. So this is when we have our soggiest weather. Kind of puts a damper on any of your Friday evening plans. Late Friday night, we finally have the weather drying up, and we've got a fairly dry weekend around the corner. Then looking ahead to next week, New Year's Eve could feature a rain-snow mix, so have that on your radar as you make those New Year's Eve plans. That's ahead of a big cool down into 2025. So temperature-wise, we're very mild this weekend, near or close to the 50s under a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy sky. Monday looking quiet, and then there's that rain-snow mix, mostly Tuesday morning. Cold weather after that. In your most accurate 10-day forecast, temperatures dip into the 20s for highs to ring in the new year.